My name is Do Not Obey, and let's get started. Let's get it. What's up, guys? It's me, Do Not Obey, and let's get into this video. Now, this video is an update on possibly, allegedly, a link to our missing scientists that are in DOA that have passed in suspicious and just, to me, asinine ways. I believe it's bigger than that. I believe it's bigger than what anybody can imagine. And I believe it's done right here at home, allegedly. But this is over in China, and there's some information on, I think there's about 22 that they're talking about. I found some clips on TikTok. I put some things together, and I just want to give you guys this video because the way things, man, look, it's just like straight up X-Files. You know what I mean? Like straight up government cover up, allegedly. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think, and do not obey. Stay woke. Peace.
Rep. Anna-Paulina Luna just shared this image here. Nikola Tesla sat in front of his Tesla coil with no context, just the image, which is very strange. Now, given the nature of what's been happening recently with missing researchers, government officials, people linked to either anti-gravity technology or potentially zero-point energy, this isn't only happening in USA, it's happening in China, Russia and Europe as well, where lots of researchers are going missing or being found unalived, right? Now, all of this alluding to zero-point energy, and this isn't the first time that Rep. Anna-Paulina Luna has just put a cryptic message out there, much like this one in 2024, where she says free energy, right? Now we've just had the UAE, United Arab Emirates, which are leaving OPEC, which is now letting them, or the billionaires and the trillionaires, have free range of pumping the market with unlimited amounts of oil, which isn't only going to just raise tensions in the region, but it's also kind of weird to seem like, is there a pump and dump to make as much money as possible before the inevitable is being released? Now, lots of things alluding to these researchers and scientists that go missing seems to be that there's an external force silencing whatever it is that seems to be ready to come to the surface. Because if zero-point energy is announced, the entire planet changes overnight, right? And people will, wherever you've been brought up around, it's changed like that in an instant, mate. Now, this surrounding Nikola Tesla is very strange. His Colorado Springs and Wardenclyffe work on wireless power claims he was tapping into radiant energy or the ambient medium, and the FBI seizing his papers after his death in 1943, where no one was able to see or kind of reveal anything what he was working on. It was all shut away under lock and key. Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, MIT electrical engineer, being one of the people who reviewed those papers for the government. So, could this be related to exotic energy technologies along with UAP and UFO disclosure? Or is this something more?
Breaking news that is just dropping this hour. This news, remember, I said previously on my last video that in America, 11 scientists have mysteriously vanished. 11 scientists that work on military projects, AI military projects, and nuclear scientists have all disappeared. But what I didn't tell you guys is that in China is experiencing the same pandemic of their military scientists just all of a sudden, poof, disappearing out of the sea. Listen to this news to the end and let me know what you think about this recent disappearance of nuclear scientists. Okay, guys, Chinese scientists have been dying mysterious deaths, according to the Newsweek. Okay, Chinese scientists have been unalive as much as American scientists has been in a high-tech field. The article reported on a disturbing pattern of unexplained death among top Chinese and American scientists working in sensitive military and defense technology, raising concern about potential target assassination. I mean, I think they have been targeted. Here are the key details, okay? Feng Yanghe was 38 years old. He was a professor at the National University of Defense Technology who died in Beijing in July 2023 while working on AI defense simulation for Taiwanese scenario Chinese case, okay? At least 9 confirmed deaths reported since 2013 in the field with hypersonic military, AI, and space defense. In regard to the American case, 11 has been reported to die according to FBI investigators under the same scenarios, okay? They are working on advanced military technology just as the Chinese were.
Not just in the United States where scientists are disappearing mysteriously, but in China too. Something strange is definitely happening to the world's top military defense scientists. Let's look at them together. Here's a list of the Chinese scientists. In some cases, the cause of death is not disclosed. But just look at the areas of expertise. All of them have worked in cutting-edge military technology, microelectronics specialists, including artificial intelligence, hypersonic weapons, nuclear research. I mean, clearly they're all in military defense and space defense. Disturbing questions like this are being raised. Is there a silent scientific war going on among some military analysts? In the United States, scientists missing. Areas of expertise, again, include nuclear weapons, nuclear research, nuclear lab. Let's look at the ones who have passed in the United States. Top scientists detecting signs of alien life. Those looking at planets. Scientists working on infrared telescope, looking at planets with possible water. Research scientist, fusion researcher, pharmaceutical researcher, anti-gravity researcher. These disappearances are, of course, fueling conspiracy theories. Is it a mere coincidence or a well-thought-out plot? Competition between the U.S. and Chinese is deepening, quote, changes unseen in a century to the world order, and that they are driving the changes. So, do they not want us to see these changes? Chemists, data scientist, space expert, drone expert, biomedical expert, hypersonics expert. Definitely no evidence that any of these are linked to one another, but it's definitely suspicious. And this list doesn't even include the number 12, 13, and 14 that I've reported in previous videos.
There's about 22 scientists, researchers, military insiders, all that are missing between the U.S. and China. They're all dead, they're all missing, and they're all suspicious as shit. Listen, every single one of them worked in the field that could explain how UFOs or UAPs or whatever the hell you want to call them travel. Because here's what we know about these UAPs, right? On the record, confirmed by the Pentagon and by eyewitnesses. They can travel at over 10,000 miles per hour with no engine, no heat trail, no sound, right? They make 90-degree turns that a human wouldn't survive. They hover in place. They go underwater. They vanish off radar mid-fucking flight. Not to mention that they move in coordinated swarms with zero radio signal. Listen, that ain't no drone, babe, and I don't give a damn what you say. That's not a foreign aircraft. That's a completely different understanding of physics. So what kind of scientists would you need to figure out how all that shit works, right? You would need hypersonic experts to understand speeds that fast with no heat. You would need anti-gravity researchers to explain the propulsion, right? You would need plasma physicists because that's their leading propulsion theory. And then you would need military AI specialists to crack the damn swarms of them. You would need material scientists to analyze what this craft is made out of. Now look who's dead or missing, right? China lost its top hypersonic expert, its lead military AI researcher, its head of drone warfare, its space early warning specialist, okay? The U.S. lost an anti-gravity physicist who got a DOD funding, gained top secret clearance, and then went completely fucking dark and then got hit by a car. 2 NASA JPL researchers, the director of MIT's.
Okay, this is getting quite serious now. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't serious before, but this is getting weird. Right, there's more deaths, more murders, effectively, or potential suicides, as they claim. We've got more people. So, reports are now claiming that as many as 13 American scientists and researchers have either died or gone missing under unusual circumstances. These aren't random individuals. They're said to be connected to NASA, defense research, advanced engineering, and even UFO-related fields. And now additional cases, both in the US and internationally, are being pulled into the same conversation. Now I'm getting this from News Nation. Joshua Block, one of the central cases being discussed is Joshua Block, described in reports as a NASA nuclear engineer, working in advanced propulsion and high level of research, according to what's being circulated, he's disappeared suddenly and notably without taking essential personal items like his phone or wallet. Sound familiar? That keeps happening. They keep disappearing without their phone and their wallet. This detail is being highlighted because it appears in multiple cases his body was later found following a fiery car crash in July. The case is now reportedly under FBI review, with investigators said to be looking more closely at the circumstances surrounding both his disappearance and the crash itself. UFO researcher David Wilcox, another name now being included is David Wilcox, a UFO researcher and author known for his work in alternative research circles and discussions around disclosure. Reports state that his death was officially ruled as suicide. However, it's now being claimed that his case is under renewed scrutiny and under review as a potential homicide. His inclusion in the list is tied to his involvement in UFO-related topics, which some reports are linking to broader discussions around classified programs and hidden research. Right, this is where it gets a bit weird. Chinese scientists reported missing or dead. This isn't being framed as a US-only issue. Reports are also pointing to Chinese scientists, particularly those working in sensitive or advanced fields, who have died under unclear or sudden circumstances. Zhang Xiaobeng, a physicist and professor at Stanford University, is one of the most commonly referenced cases. He was known for his work in quantum physics and had links to Chinese technology initiatives. His death was officially ruled as suicide, but he is frequently included in discussions involving scientists connected to advanced or strategically important research areas. Ren Wei, another name being circulated is Ren Wei, described as an artificial intelligence scientist linked to advanced research, including defense-related applications. Reports claim he died suddenly, though details around the circumstances remain limited in what's being shared publicly. Again, there's one at the Wuhan lab researcher claim as well that's been mentioned here. But here's another one related back in the US. Father and son plane crash. Richard L. Garwin, another case now being added, involves Richard L. Garwin, a senior physicist with a long history of work in advanced science and national security advisor roles. He was associated with IBM and had advised the US government on defense-related research, including nuclear and strategic technologies. The son, Thomas Garwin, his son, is described in reports as an engineer or technical professional working within scientific or engineering fields. So both were reported killed in a private plane crash. The aircraft is described as a small private plane with both individuals dying on impact. The case is being grouped into the broader narrative due to both individuals being connected to scientific and technical work. Yeah, this is starting to look a bit weird now. Let me get my maths right. So is that 15 we're at now? No, it's more, including the Chinese people as well. That's shit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not going to start surmising because I don't want people saying that Daniel Knightley said this, and this is seriously getting quite serious right now. I don't know if this is a message from the gatekeepers to keep our mouths shut, or they've discovered something groundbreaking within advanced propulsion and they're shutting everyone up because they don't want anyone getting out with this new information. Maybe they've all collectively come to the decision that they were going to whistleblow. Collectively, as we know, there is a reverse engineering program in China, there's a reverse engineering program in Russia, there's a reverse engineering program in the US. Maybe they've collectively come up with something and they're like, no, we got to cut the head off the snake here, we can't let this stuff out. So it's either that or, you know, the fact that there's an astronomer in this list might indicate that something's on its way here and that they don't want that information getting out to the public. Or they're just trying to slow down the pace of research in this area because it's a growing interest, and because there's so many more people involved in this now that want to come forwards. We've had congressional hearings and all sorts of things go on. News is now regularly covering this, whether it's Daily Mail, The Telegraph, News Nation, Newsmax, BBC, Sky News, NBC, CNN, Fox News. Like, it's not going away. And what it looks like to me is that I think that they are struggling under the pressure to keep a lid on it, which is maybe why they're silencing a lot of these people potentially. Now, I'm not making that claim. I'm just surmising what's going on, or hypothesizing effectively. I'm not suggesting or making any accusations that this is an inside job by aerospace firms. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, and it could be foreign actors, it could be, but at the moment we just don't know. But like, this is escalating quite quickly. And now that we've got journalists doing some digging, I mean, this is where it's coming from. This is all coming from journalism. Journalists are doing their job, and rightfully so, and they're uncovering what looks like it absolutely stinks to the high heaven of foul play. The fact that we have one UFO researcher in here that wasn't even a scientist, that, they're now reviewing the case as a potential homicide versus an initial assumption that it was a suicide in the form of David Wilcock is a little bit concerning. And this guy isn't even a scientist; he was a researcher, but he was very prominent in the space, and he's been around for a very long time. But it is a bit strange. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is getting a bit weird.